So, let's do this, America. That's right. You're all waiting for that. So it's Dr. Mike Zavella here. This is Thursday, May 14, 2015. And I have all these lights in my glasses here. You can see that. It is 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Very excited on tonight's show. We have a lot to talk about. Basically, just the awesomeness of one person. And you think it's who it is, but it's actually the convener, Dr. Gerry Tolbert. Gerry, how's it going there, buddy?
Good, Mike. How's it going?
Doing all right. So it's a big day in the media and social media world, but we'll get to that. So, but I do want to give some shout outs at the beginning of the show. The first shout out is to my shirt, the shirt here, Strong Medicine for America, which
right now it says
theme of kind of is
Strong Medici.
Yeah. Looks like this. Look like that. See right there, kids.
There we go.
See right there. See right there.
Nice.
Strong Medicine for America.
Very nice.
Got it at last year's FMX, which was not FMX, but that's what I'm going to call it now.
Retroactive. Doing
it. Interactive marketing. So also want to give a shout out to this week's Family Medicine Congressional Conference. They were tweeting out a storm there. People who don't know what that is, it's Family Medicine taking on Capitol Hill this week. And shout out to everybody who was at that. Saw some great pics and looks like some good content. One of these days I'm gonna go up there, but maybe I'm not allowed to go up there, Gerry, because the security thing that I'm not allowed to talk about on the air. But maybe I'll have clearance to go to Congress.
There you go.
Yes, I don't know. So next shout out. So World Family Doctor Day is next week, May 19, and. Yes. Our good friend Kyle Hodebeck had a great blog post on AAFP, I think just yesterday or the day before, talking about global health. So go to AAFP.org and check that out. And we'll be probably tweeting that out coming up on that day, talking about global health, talking about global family medicine. And so that's going to be good. Next week, people are already tweeting about it in the last few days. Now we may get into this later, but shout out to the watch. Shout out to the watch, Gerry. You want to shout out to your watch?
Yes, I have mine. Sorry, I kind of bumped the mic there. It is quite nice, that's for sure. I use it way more than I use the. I use the Pebble consistently, but I use this a ton more just because of the improved fitness tracking for what I do, and as well as the two-way communication. Being able to send messages is very handy. I just sent you one right before the show.
So if we get into a lull, then Gerry will send me a text to the watch telling me to shut up. So stay tuned for that. And shout out to the 4 people who are watching us right now, Gerry. Very, very exciting. And Gerry is participating in the live comedy. He's sending me some kind of text, which I will share with all of you when I get that. So I've had the watch for about a week, and at some point, maybe this weekend, I will have a blog post on it, talking about the watch.
Nice.
I've been reading some reviews on it already. And Gerry, did you know that the watch tells time? I didn't know that.
I did know that. Although I will say that out of all the complications on the watch face that I use, that's probably one of the smaller ones. I have the date as the biggest thing because that's the thing I use the most during the day. Oh yeah, what day is it? May 14th. But the weather, my exercise, and the battery life on the watch, which hasn't really been a problem for me, but those are my 3 biggest kind of pieces. And then I have the moon phase up in the corner, which that's just the astronaut in me.
So our final shout out is to our good friend, which we'll get into now, Dr. Wanda Filer, President-Elect at the American Academy of Family Physicians. Just hit it out of the park today, whatever bad sports analogy you want to use. So before we get into this part of the show, I want to give the disclaimer, okay, that this Google Hangout is not sanctioned or planned by the American Academy of Family Physicians. All hate mail goes to Gerry at Gerry Tolbert familymedicine.com. So, so we got that out of the way. So Gerry, I mean, I don't even know if you and I kind of talked about this. Maybe we even talked a little bit about it.
A little bit, yeah.
So when you first heard of Dr. Wanda on the Dr. Oz show, what was your initial reaction to that?
Probably what a lot of people's reaction was this could really go one of two ways. It could be really, really bad, or it could be really, really good. There's usually not a lot of mediocre when it comes to Dr. Oz.
Yeah, and that was my reaction as well. I was like, because Wanda talked to me about it, and she talked to a lot of people at NCCL about this, and I was like,
it plays into something that we've talked about for a very long time. You and I both at length about somebody having media exposure on a consistent basis to show what family medicine is really all about. And so as long as that was what the opportunity was going to be, I thought it was a good idea. If there was something else that was going on, or if she was going to start shilling products, then yeah, there's a reason to be upset. But if she's really getting up there to talk about, how strong family medicine is, strong medicine for America, to borrow from your shirt there, then that's great. That's what we want. We want exposure. We want FaceTime. And when you can put, your blog post said it perfectly, when you can put that message in front of 2 million people, why not? It doesn't matter who's in charge of that 2 million people. You're putting it up there so that they can see it and hear it and respond to it. And maybe even people that have never even heard of family medicine, which I'm surprised every day by the number of people that don't understand what it really is. They now have exposure, and exposure in a good way, because she was able to kind of control the message.
So what I'm going to do is my blog post gave you a little bit of the behind the scenes, but now I'm going to share a little bit about the behind the scenes of stuff that was going on. So as I said before, Wanda talked to me. She talked to a lot of people at NCCL about this appearance, and I did hear rumors that there were, obviously a lot of discussions at headquarters. Imagine that, from the PR and marketing and legal people about this. And I even heard there were rumors that there were kind of like little focus groups that were going on, and to see what the potential reaction of this would be, which I think is very interesting.
Definitely.
But as I was leaving Kansas City, I was thinking in my head, I was like, oh, well, I thought this was, a huge opportunity. And I was thinking, how can we help her spread the message? How can we help alleviate the fears of our members, of physicians, of family physicians? And I was thinking about how to potentially do that. So what I did when I got home, I sent out some emails and messages to our friends to kind of gauge their reaction. And something that was cool that was talked about at the NCCL meeting was the building of a resolution on Facebook Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was that I kind of reached out to that group and said, hey, you're everybody's very opinionated here. You're the leaders of the academy, and what do you guys think of this that is going to happen at some point, which we didn't know what was going to happen. And the cool part is that group really did what I thought they were going to do. They really kind of wrestled with the question. There was a lot of discussion back and forth, and a lot of things that I thought that the members would be concerned about. And what was really cool was, and Gerry, I know you're part of that group too, is that the group kind of worked it out among themselves as far as, hey, these are the concerns, but the potential benefit does outweigh the potential risk of controversy.
Right.
And Gerry, you kind of observed that conversation. What was kind of your observations as an outsider, or even as a participant in that discussion?
I honestly didn't participate in that discussion because I feel like I've got I don't know. I feel like I'm not necessarily inside baseball. Like, there are things that I know that other people don't. I don't think that's true, but I think there's so many things going on right now as far as media and the things that we're trying to do to get family medicine out there. But watching that conversation unfold, it's just like you said, it was a pretty good microcosm for what I expected would happen. There was disdain, there was joy, there was everything in between, and that's kind of what I expected. I didn't expect there wasn't anything overly, over the top negative being said specifically about her appearing, but there were some things that were, brought up that were, again, obviously things that probably, from the time that this got started, the discussion about this got started, there's probably been people talking about it at the highest levels even, what happens if, and they had some good points about, how do we take that message to the bigger audience? And, again, that whole idea of taking advantage of every opportunity. So it was a good discussion. And I think from the standpoint of final result, which I know we haven't kind of gotten there yet in the conversation, but I think it went as good as could have been expected. Let's put it that way.
Sure. Yeah, we're kind of crawling our way there, but
that's okay.
Kind of we're building to the big.
Right. We have to build to the denouement.
That's right. And actually, I utilized what I learned at the annual conference forum, chapter forum, where they talked about contacting your biggest supporters and potentially controversial topics to gauge their opinion, and if they support, then to help them amplify the message. And that was something that was seen today, but I'm moving forward too quickly. So what happened after that discussion was that I was contacted by one of our friends who remain nameless at AAFP, that this interview was going to be happening today, and I was like, oh well, and they made the suggestion to me, do you think Wanda would come on a podcast with me to discuss the whole thing? And I was like, sure, if we can match up schedules, because I know, she's very, busy with her schedule, and, obviously I'm in the office all the time, and we found a time on Monday during my lunch hour and her lunch hour, and she was in DC getting ready for the Family Medicine Congressional Conference, and she actually called in from the DC office there, and I was kind of on my phone recording things at my office, and we had a very cool conversation. I mean, she's such a media professional that it is she didn't need any prep at all.
That's right, she's got some polish.
Yeah. I was like, do you want any prep? I mean, do you need my vision for the interview? And she's like, nah. She's like, it's just going to be a conversation.
That's right.
Like, Wanda, you're awesome.
She just knows what she can and can't say in those conversations.
Yeah, exactly. And then, she said she was going on, the show talking about fear. And I'm like, so how apropos was that, facing our fears? Like, the AFP facing our fears, going on to talk to Raj.
Exactly.
I was just like, wow, that is very, very cool. But Gerry, I have to tell you, during my chat with her, during our podcast interview, I was very, very nervous because she's such a media professional. I'm just like, I don't want to mess up and ask her the wrong question or lead her the wrong way or whatever. And
no, it turned out very good. I don't know how much editing you did after the fact, but I have your podcast set to auto download, and so this morning it popped up, and I took a listen to prep for tonight, and I enjoyed listening to it. It was impressive.
Yeah, obviously she's awesome. She's great to talk to, and I actually, that was edited that night. That was edited Monday night, and then I was asked to hold it until today, which I did, which I think was the media kind of savvy thing to do.
Oh, for sure.
But last night, I got a little bit anxious because I saw a tweet out there saying that Wanda was going to be on the show. And it came from our friends at the Arizona chapter, and I was like, oh, is that gonna cause a storm there? But it was fine. So I was kind of planning on posting my podcast and posting the blog post in the middle of the afternoon, but I started getting some emails and texts from people and saying, "Hey, what's up? And is this true?" and that and this, whatever. So I posted a little early, and then I was just tweeting like all afternoon in the midst of my office. Don't tell my patients.
We've been
We're being invaded by Dr. Kim. Kim, how are you? I am not going to kick you off of this call this time. Are you there, Kim?
Well, we can see the roof of her car.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you now.
Kim, you're on.
Well, like a few moments, I just saw like mouths moving.
Turn your phone sideways.
Oh, okay. Ooh, now I can't see you.
Whoa.
Oh, there you go.
It'll reorient.
So Kim, are you driving?
Okay,
and
kids, say hi.
Interviewing at the same time. Oh man, I'm like waving back. Bye, hi. Huh. So how are you, Kim? What's happening? Have you logged like 5,000, 10,000 airline miles in the past 3 days? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you at all.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Well, Gerry, you can talk.
No, I can't hear Mike at all.
Okay.
I just see his mouth moving.
So you ask questions and then I'll pass them on.
No, just just.
So Mike wants to know if you've logged lots and lots of airline miles, because as far as I've seen you in Kansas City, D.C., now in California. Is that correct?
That is right. I'm getting quite a few. But some of them don't really count because I'm actually using some miles. So it's all good.
Okie dokie.
So Kim, what was your reaction to Wanda today?
What was your reaction to Wanda today?
I was really kind of excited to know that she had actually made this bold move. I mean, it was strikingly bold to do the show, and I thought she did remarkably well. I think the message was very clear, and I was really excited that she was being a spokesperson for family medicine on such a wide audience. I think it's always very difficult when you're on a controversial show like that to really know whether you're doing the right thing, and I think that she really did do something that was good, and that for the audience that Dr. Oz has, I think that they will appreciate hearing from a real family physician. Yep.
Wow. It's
The response was wow.
So where are you, Kim? Are you at the airport getting ready to leave again?
Where are you, Kim? Are you at the airport getting ready to leave again?
No. I actually went to Porto's Bakery. I did something that I shouldn't have done. Shh. I'll show you.
We won't tell anyone.
Some of it. Yeah, some of it here. Like, look. This is like major Porto's Bakery goodies, yummies, and a very, very nice iced coffee with lots of condensed milk. So I am making up for the fact that I ran this half marathon, and I've already consumed more than 10 times the number of calories that I burned that day, but it's all good. I can now move. I am walking again.
That's
good.
It is
Wonderful.
How did you in the marathon?
I completed it. I was really happy. I just made it, and I did it. I know, and ahead of the 16-mile balloon lady that, if you fall behind the balloon lady, they come and pick you up in a bus, and I was really paranoid that the bike men were going to come and say, get on the bus, but I made it. I made it ahead of the balloon lady, and she and I conversed quite a bit during that 13 miles. It was really funny. Took a nice selfie at the end of it. It was great.
Good.
Yeah, and then I hobbled around DC, and now I'm able to walk again, so it's really good. I think my CPK levels are now back to normal. It's great.
Nice.
It's good that you didn't go into full-blown rhabdo.
That's there right now. So Jerry asked. So this I feel like Jerry's translating for me. This is the best show ever.
It's like the anger translator for Obama. Did you see that?
That's right. That's right.
Oh gosh, this is funny because I really wish I could like sight read your mouth, you know, like all of that because I can't tell anything that Mike is saying except that he's scratching his shoulder. That's the only
ask
thing.
Ask her about her watch, and I'm gonna send her a text.
He wants to know if you can swim upside down underwater in pudding.
No.
Really?
No.
That's a really interesting
no, that's not what he said.
thing.
That's not what he said. He asked about your watch. He said he wanted you to look at it because he's going to send you a text, even though I just sent you one and you didn't respond that I had sent you one. So.
Oh yeah. Look everyone. That's my watch. It's got, I don't know. Oh, can't tell. But it has Mickey on it. Oh, you tapped me. Let me see. What did it say?
Well, don't tell anybody that. I'm in big trouble.
I don't know what you said. Oh, there's lots of taps there. I got lots of taps.
Oh, I'm getting.
Let me write something back.
I'm getting tapped back here. Wow, this is fascinating. Fascinating television here.
It's great for the listeners at home.
That's right.
I know.
If you're listening at home.
If only you could see what was on our watches.
I can sing you songs, I guess. So this is really funny. So Mike, I drew you a picture, and it's not going anywhere. It's just sitting here on my screen. It hasn't dissolved. So I don't know if my communication protocol's down.
Oh, I see a very strange-looking man with a very big nose.
It was kind of a duck, but yeah. Either that or she's looking at me. There it went. Whatever was going on, it fixed itself.
Ooh, she looks frozen now. Oh, maybe not.
No, I think she just didn't say anything. He said you look frozen.
Well, because my son is asking me to draw you certain things on my watch, which I know I cannot do.
I thought maybe you were going to start singing "Let It Go."
Definitely not singing "Let It Go." Definitely not singing.
Hey, there you go.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Jerry.
My kids can sing it for you, though. Oh dear.
Wow, this is.
I have to tell you what Mike, what my daughter said when she saw your picture. It was so funny. Yeah. She's at the back now saying, "No, don't say it." And she was asking why your last name was Sevilla because it should be Mike, the awesome person.
Wow.
I like that.
I like that too. I just saw your wow. That's your new name, Mike, the awesome person.
Wow.
I'm just calling Cat.
It's an animated. It's an animated GIF right there. Here you go. Wow.
Yeah, somebody record that.
That'll be on Twitter soon. So.
We missed you guys in DC.
Yeah, it looked like you guys had a lot of fun and got a lot done. So.
It was a very exciting time. It really was. I mean, it was so fun not to have to talk about the SGR.
What did you all talk about? I thought that was all we ever talked about.
I know, exactly.
Give us the lowdown on
every meeting we went to, it all started with, thank you for fixing the SGR stuff. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's really cool. And what should we talk about now? But there was actually quite a bit that we wanted to talk about, Title VII, GME, transparency. And we even talked a little bit about the chronic care management fees that we can charge now, but the rural docs are not able to claim, and also the co-pays that are associated with it that are making patients not want us to do chronic care management, which is not a good thing. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of it all. So we talked to several legislators. I talked to 5. And I know around the Capitol there were over 250 visits that were scheduled during that time period, which is really cool to see everybody walking around the Hill. So it was a good time, very good time. We even talked about the Caregivers Congressional Caucus, which you were asking. It's a bipartisan caucus where we're asking people to join up to help make some legislation to help with caregivers, the people that take care of patients who really have a lot of difficulty sometimes being able to get the services and support that they need. So interesting times.
For sure.
And of course, the money that we need for Title VII and GME. So
yeah. Well, and that bleeds into a lot of different pieces. We talk about one of the things that that we're looking at here in the state of Kentucky is, the University of Kentucky is a land-grant institution, meaning that they're supposed to, as part of their mandate for the College of Medicine there, that they're supposed to be pushing for primary care in Kentucky. And so, we were looking at how to rearrange that, how to, what legislation would be required to make it such that instead of the university, which doesn't really see it as a large part of their budget, at least the way they treat it, how do we frighten them into either using it appropriately or take that from them and give it to the the residency programs that are doing primary care, because they're guaranteed pipeline for primary care. So that plays right into that Title VII money thing. So
well, we're hoping that they were asking the GAO to really ask for a study to be done with GME needs and transparency of GME. Where are people really going into residency? What are they doing? And where are they afterwards? And really the definition of what a primary care physician is, because as we know, with all the internists and pediatric residents that choose to subspecialize afterwards, we really need to look at maybe 5 years out from graduation, really where a physician is, to be able to define them as a primary care physician instead of a neurologist or
a
urologist.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing that was interesting was we heard about teaching health centers, where they could pretty much not only save money, but a lot of the people that train in teaching health centers rather than training hospitals, teaching hospitals, that they would actually more than not go into community medicine and primary care, and also at lower cost, where it may be you could train 2 residents for the cost of 1 in a teaching health center. So that was something that a lot of the legislators were really excited to hear about.
Your daughter's so cute. Seeing Snoopy in the background there, she's like trying to get in the shot. It's
she's doing Snoopy in the background.
That's hilarious. Oh, she can't hear me. Oh, maybe she can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Maybe. No, not really.
No, she was just playing off of what you were saying and pointing out.
Oh, man.
I hear you.
I think I can sometimes hear random words, or maybe I'm just beginning to
so it's like
figure out your mouth.
Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth?
It's like
can you
normal.
Hear me now? No.
Wow.
People are making fun of us on Twitter. That's great.
I need subtitles.
Subtitles? Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
He just said people are making fun of us on Twitter.
Oh, I'm on my phone, so I can't really tell.
Yeah, it's all good.
It is probably good.
Let's see what else is going on. So,
he asked if you like to go fishing.
Oh, did
I used to really enjoy fishing. My husband and my kids love to fish, but Gerry is like dying right now.
He didn't really ask that. I was just making him.
I prefer to fish with a net and collect a lot of fish.
Who's Annette?
Bum.
Who's in it? Who's in the net?
No, not in the
Gerry.
net. Who's Annette?
Oh, no, not a net. I mean, fish with a net, with a big
Exactly,
net.
Annette. Which Annette are you?
Throw a net into.
Well, that doesn't sound appropriate at all.
Especially not with that facial expression.
She's at the mall, looks like there.
But we have
Mike
great
thinks you're at the
fishing
mall.
at our
Are you
lake.
at the mall?
I'm not at the mall. I told you I went to the bakery. I just went to Downey Aerospace Center or something. There's an aerospace center there, and the LA Arboretum. Not too far, 8 minutes away. It was very cool. And played with robots.
I like robots.
She's calling it on her phone. That's like the best. That's like our correspondent, our California correspondent, dude.
Airships.
She saw airships apparently too. I did hear that.
Parachutes, yes.
Oh,
Parachutes.
parachutes. Okay.
Oh man, this is the best interview ever.
Yeah, so it's a parking garage. It's not a mall. Duh.
No, it's a parking garage around the corner from Porto's Bakery. All those that know will be going, I know that parking lot.
Oh. Should I ever walk outside? No, but her kids are in the car, so that's probably not a good idea.
Not a good idea. Mike said you should walk outside, but then he said, no, that's not a good idea because your kids are in the car, so no.
Yes, no, I'm not doing that. We
so,
are actually planning to go to Nickel Nickel, which is a little sort of Chuck E. Cheese type arrangement thing. So we'll see if we survive that. And the facial expressions on your and Mike's face is really quite interesting. It's kind of like this.
I'm trying to get freeze frames so that when they stop this to like when it picks the picture that it's going to put on the YouTube video when he puts this up, I want the freeze frame to be me going.
Oh, should we all do it? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and Gerry, you should check Twitter.
I think my daughter was doing that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that Kirk is paying attention to what we're doing.
Yeah. So Kim should just check her Twitter feed after we let her go. So
I'm looking forward to a few weeks' time. We'll be at Cluster.
Exactly.
We can continue some more FM revolution there.
Sure. Yeah. Ask her her reaction to.
He said sure. And
to the Oz with the Health is Primary T-shirt.
What do you think about the picture of Dr. Oz and Wanda holding the Health is Primary T-shirt? What are your feelings on that?
I sure hope that the Health is Primary team are fine with that too. I think that it's a great way of really getting the message of Health is Primary. I did have initially a few reservations because I didn't want people to associate Health as Primary with Dr. Oz necessarily, but having seen the CVS signs that are around that say Health is everything or everywhere or whatever that they have with the same fonts and the same colors, it looks like we've got our work cut out for us in terms of trying to really show that Health is Primary is really its own thing and not related to Dr. Oz or CBS or anything. So it's going to be good for the Health is Primary teams and the tactic teams to really think through how they're going to really advertise more about the campaign. Oh, I lost Gerry.
No, he's still there.
I have a picture of a dog.
He's showing.
I put up a picture of the husky that I was copying with my face.
Oh, that's too funny. You're really blowing your nose, aren't you?
No, I was thinking.
I'll be honest with you. My nose is beginning to run a little bit, and I'm like, oh gosh, where's my picture? Where's my picture? I have no picture of a dog. But I think that there's lots of opportunities for the Health is Primary campaign to really get the message out, and this was one way, and so it's a really good way. I think we should have everybody like famous have a picture like that. That would be really cool with Wanda, with Sanjay Gupta with a T-shirt, and maybe T-shirt pictures with other celebrities around the country. That would be really cool. I was trying to get a hold of Jay because I really wanted to have a picture of him holding a T-shirt like that, but I haven't heard back from him yet, so we'll see if I can get a hold of him before tomorrow.
And Gerry asked her if she'd seen any Health is Primary paraphernalia out there.
So two things. First, have you not used a translator phone before, Michael? You just ask the question, and then I respond to the question using a technique that is called Transliteration. So I say exactly what you say, but I say it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh.
Got nothing.
They always got on us. This is just an aside here. They always got on us when we would use the translator phone, or we would have the translator in the room. They would say, just ask the question to the patient. Don't ask the translator to ask the patient. So,
I
sitting there.
well, right now it looks like she's blowing her nose, so I'm going to wait until she finishes that.
This is the best show ever. Hashtag best show ever.
Oh, where am I? I don't know where I went.
Oh.
I pressed a few buttons and suddenly...
Yeah, you basically muted your video.
I had nothing to do with this.
Okay, maybe if I do that.
There's a little button that looks like, there you are, you're back. Don't touch it.
Okay.
So we're getting a question from the outside that we can answer in a second. But first, he asked if you had seen any health is primary swag, anything that was advertising health is primary out where you are.
I haven't personally seen it, but I heard that one of our main people in the MAFP, the Michigan Academy of Family Physicians office, did see a sign, a big sign, but it was way out in the country somewhere, like on a road that wasn't really well traveled. So it was, yeah. So it was kind of a bit, interesting to find out that it was way out there, and so we haven't been able to. I haven't been able to get out there yet.
Family medicine, the road less traveled. Ooh.
Ooh.
Got a thumbs up. So moving forward here, just because for the sake of time here, Kirk asked us, do you feel that mass media vehicles like Oz can be effective? If so, what other shows? The answer that I would give, just because I was reading the question and I have been formulating my answer for the last 5 minutes, is yes, and really any other shows, pretty much anything. That whole joke about any publicity is good publicity. That's hard to say, but that joke about any exposure is good exposure. Anywhere we can go, anywhere where we can spread the message, anywhere where we can get our voices heard, and actually have people see it is a good place to advertise. The problem is the same. The problem is that the same isn't always true for I guess the message that you're bringing. So you kind of have to have that idea of this is who we are, this is what we do. And I think, again, jumping back to Wanda there, that idea of everybody needs to have one place where they come back to. They have to have that medical home, and a primary care physician, specifically family medicine, is the best place for that to happen. And I think once we put that out there, once we get travel down that road, we have to basically walk what we talk, and I think that's the hardest part. But again, any publicity is going to be good.
I think that it would be great to see on Oprah. I'd love to see on something like Oprah, that type of show, or The View. Any of those. Anymore. Well, those type of shows that really have that type of pull, and that viewership would be great.
Well, I mean, you've got Oz, who has 2 million. I mean, the other shows that would be consistent with that process would be things like The Doctors, which they do a better job. And I hesitate to use those words, but they do a much better job of being more scientific most of the time, not always, than Oz with his interpretation of things. But anywhere where we can be, I guess, even smaller venues. So Oprah would have been awesome if she was still around. Even, and don't take this the wrong way, I don't think we need to go on Jerry Springer's show. But even something like Jerry Springer, you're getting to the people that need a family physician more so oftentimes than the people that are going to be watching stuff like The Doctors. I mean, you want to get to people that are going to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning and not taking care of themselves, and the people that are going to be at highest risk. Those are the people that we want to get that message to, so that they know that they don't have to be afraid of us. That going to the doctor's office isn't this big, scary, horrible thing, but it's something that can be good for you and, not intensely uncomfortable. Sometimes we do have to have uncomfortable conversations. Sometimes we're not your best friend. We're still the person that's kind of trying to help you, turn things to the direction of good health. But, the idea that every interaction with a physician has to be this massively painful, horrible thing, that just doesn't have to be that way. And we can kind of show that in a lot of different venues. So I don't think any place that would happen would be a bad place.
Well, I think that that it's kind of a multi-tiered type of strategy. I mean, you got national shows, you got local shows, you got TV, you have traditional radio, you have internet, videos and podcasts, and well, something that the legislative people do really well is to build the talking points, the buzzwords, and then have people fill in kind of their story in that. And it would be cool, for all of us to be on the same page and say these are the buzzwords to say, and then fill in your story from a state and the local level, and basically just like you said, Gerry, like anywhere. But as long as we are on the same page and are telling the same story, telling the same talking points, interjecting our personal story, I think that'll be very effective.
I can hear you.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, there's people looking in your car. It's a scary thing, like over your left shoulder over there. I'm not sure what's going on.
They just got their pastries.
Oh, so they're happy. So
yeah, they're
happy.
happy.
That they got.
Do you have to have them sign a release since they're going to be on the video show here?
I mean, really, we should have like a little stall here with Hellas Primary here and all of that because there's so many people here. So many.
Don't buy the pastries.
No. It's like Disney.
Now, did you guys see the full 7 minutes that she did? Because I just put on a little preview of it.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen the whole 7.
I didn't get to see the whole 7. I saw most of. I saw all of what you posted.
Okay. So when people see it, surprisingly, Wanda looked kind of nervous going through that whole thing. I mean, she had her traditional, power red on, which obviously is, I like that color too. But when she was on there, I mean, just kind of looking, I mean, obviously I watched it a few times, but it didn't seem like her, but maybe she was rushed or during that 7 minutes trying to get all the talking points in there. And, I think Oz cut her off a couple times, but whatever.
He does that a lot.
He does that a lot. But the cool thing that she shared on the podcast and also in her blog post today at AAFP.org is that there was one audience member who did not see a family physician for 11 years, and she reached out to that person and said, "Do you want me to connect you with somebody in where you live in New York State?" And she reached out to our friends at the New York chapter to get this audience member a family physician, and hopefully we'll get some follow-up either from national or from the New York chapter. Hopefully that happened, and we'll be able to share that story too. And I thought that was something very cool that happened. And she said during the podcast, even in her blog post today, if she's helped one person, that's maybe good enough. And I think that's a great thing.
Definitely. It's kind of like the story about the little kid and the starfish walking along the beach, throwing them out there. The guy walks up to him and says, there's thousands of starfish here. You're never going to get them all back into the ocean. Do you really think you're going to make a difference? And he picks up a starfish and he throws it out in the ocean and says, "Did to that one." Every person that we help, every person that we are able to reach is one more person that knows the message and can spread it and share their story as well. So it's cool.
I think it's fantastic. I really think that there's going to be more than just one. And hopefully we'll get to hear more of the stories of people who've really been touched by what she said. Because we all know people, even in our own families, who won't go see a doctor, and it's really difficult to get some of them to change their minds. So if we can just reach one at a time, one person at a time, with the message that everyone needs a family physician, I think that's a wonderful thing. I really, really am so pleased that Wanda did this.
Kim, I know you can hear me now, and we talked
Yay.
about before you came on. What was your impression of our little, Facebook Messenger discussion, at the beginning of the week, as we kind of, as I outlined what was going to happen to our friends, and what did you think of that internal kind of discussion?
I found it very helpful, actually, to really see and discuss with other people who are like-minded, and also to hear differing opinions from other people before the actual event went live. And so it was definitely a good internal check to really sit down and go through the process of, are we really getting our talking points in order? How do we feel about it? And to have a few days to really process what exactly we do feel about it, so that when we do have our message out there, it really is more clear and more succinct. I just see that Jay checked in at Three Monkeys Japanese Kitchen.
And Kim is done, so...
It's so funny. It's like when you're on your phone, and usually I'm on my computer, so I don't see all these alerts. But I get all these alerts, like from Kirk, like what Kirk's tweeting, and then Yelp starts doing things, and it's very distracting. Sorry.
You need to work on your notifications.
Yeah, dial them down. Dial down your notifications, I think, or dial them up, depending on what you want to happen. I'm checking something here. So as we start to kind of wind down here, because people are probably just don't even care what we're talking about now, but I did want to share some stats. So I posted on Facebook the little preview type of video, and just with that, had over 700 views of that little thing.
Wow.
So I'm hoping to post the full 7 minutes, which I know is illegal and copyright, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I think that really engaged people, and I saw people sharing that, which is really cool. And for my blog site, I get very little, well, because I write very little, but I got over 160 views today, which is cool. I don't have any stats on the podcast downloads. I think that's a day delayed, so I'll maybe have some stats tomorrow on that. And a bunch of tweets and retweets through the afternoon. I mean, the blog post only went up about 9 hours ago, but got about 25 or 30 retweets and favorites and all that stuff. So evidence-based social media advocacy. And there was only a couple of negative tweets and negative Facebook comments, which always happen, but the majority of that.
What is it that Taylor Swift says? Haters gonna hate.
Well, let me ask the both of you, because there hasn't been a lot of reaction to this. Is that because AFP members don't watch the Dr. Oz show, or they just haven't heard about it yet? What's your feeling as people, or as our members kind of hear about this thing?
I think
most of.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think most of our members probably are at work, and they're not going to be watching the show. And it's really mainly the ones that are maybe on social media or otherwise have heard through the grapevine that will know that Wanda was on the show. But it may be later on, as patients come in and say, hey, I saw a segment, where you were talking about family dogs, that maybe they'll get to understand and know what happened. But the average member probably won't know. Unless, they actually open their emails from AAFP and see where it says, her blog post and things like that.
I think, too, the membership gets surprised by a lot of things because they do not do what you're talking about, which is opening their emails and actually paying attention to the things they get sent. How many times do we just disregard half the stuff that comes through because you get so many things, not just from the Academy. That's not me downing the Academy's email process. It's just I get well over 100 to 120 emails a day because of all of the different things that I do online.
Just from me, you get 100 emails.
Just from mine. And so, 100 to 120 emails a day, having to triage through those and know kind of what's important, what's not, what can wait. So it may be 4, 5, 6, 7 days before I get back to those emails from the academy, and if that happens, I've already missed the opportunity to be a part of that discussion. So it kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of different things that go into that. So I think it's a good question. I don't know that you could really ever answer it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as people talk to people and as people open their emails and kind of see it. It'll be interesting to see. But it was just really cool, really awesome. Again, shout out to all of our friends in the FM Revolution, all the people that we've talked to who have been posting and sharing and getting that positive message out there today. It's going to be needed as more and more of our members hear about this and learn about this. Oh, and Kim, did you put on the messenger that there was like some angry doctor out there or some people who was negative that you had to talk to or calm down?
There was a little bit of discussion that was sent to me from someone who was a bit upset that because this is a message that is being sent by someone who represents the academy and represents the membership of physicians, that they wondered if this message was actually from Wanda going rogue or whether it was something that was discussed with the AAFP board and the board agreed with it and all of that. And I said I didn't know. I have no idea whose decision it was in terms of deciding whether to be on the show or not. But that may be thing that maybe needs to be discussed or not even discussed. I mean, it's done now. So I was able to really help. You can see my daughter over my shoulder. Really process and help this person understand the reasoning behind not shooting the messenger, but that our message is strong and that it needs to go out to as many people as possible. And with such a wide audience that Dr. Oz has, this was an opportunity that couldn't be missed. So I hope that this person, and I think that they really do understand to an extent, despite having major reservations about Dr. Oz's show in general.
All right. Well, I think we're kind of winding things up here. We're getting close to the top of the hour here, and I think Kim wants to have her pastries, and I want, curious about
you really
so you want to have Kim
really
pastries
good.
the sweets, yeah, and we have to find Jay. So I think that's where
Jay is at Three Monkeys restaurant somewhere.
You have to. Have to get this selfie. And there's the kids. I mean, they're, how can
Wave.
you?
Mine are asleep.
Can't tell you how distracting it is to have them behind me, but it's awesome. This is all good.
All right. Well, I think Kim already kind of did have some closing thoughts, but I mean, as we end this day and as we just start to process the awesomeness of Wanda Filer, you have any closing thoughts for us today about communication, about family medicine, about kind of what happened today?
Hello.
Hi.
Well, there you go. I think that sums it up right there.
Eric sent us that. He said he thought this would be appropriate.
Wow.
Oh, dear me.
Man, we got to retweet that.
Facetune out my double chin.
We got to.
Here,
Yeah.
I'll slide it down a little bit so all we see is your mouth.
Somebody has to.
Oh, that's funny. That is too funny.
Wow. Yeah, there you go. It's your new profile pic right there.
Oh, dear me. No.
Oh. Well, Kim, thanks so much for calling in, and I'm glad that I didn't hang up on you this time.
My kids are on the ceiling.
That's fine.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah. Enjoy the pastries, and man, where you fly to next there, Kim?
I fly back to Detroit on Friday, and after that, I'll be staying put until we get to Kansas City.
Kansas City. Dum 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 dum.
It's a good jingle. They need to adopt that one for their tourism board.
I think so. I think so. Well, thanks, Kim, and I will see you at the end of the month here.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. See you.
Okay. Bye-bye, Kim.
Bye.
Oh man. So Gerry, what just happened there?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I think the theme of this show is Kim's revenge, I believe, because I kicked her off the last show, so
Dominating this show.
no, that was fun. That was cool. That's good. It's
great.
our West Coast correspondent calling from the parking garage. I mean, does it get better than that? Just does not get better than that. Oh man. Well, cool. Let me see if there's anything else on my list here, Gerry.
While you're looking, the Planetary Society is running a Kickstarter. For those of you who don't know what that is, Kickstarter.com. Search for Bill Nye, like as in the science guy. They're trying to get a solar sail, which is a relatively lightweight method of propulsion. They're trying to get one out into orbit to then take it out into the eventually deep space, but to see how functional and how easy and how well the system they've designed works. And so it's a neat opportunity for the general public to contribute to the space program. And as someone who has kind of wanted to be an astronaut since he was about like this big, I encourage everyone to check that out and just participate, even if it's tossing in a couple of bucks. It's a great way to advance science and to show if they can take what happens with this Kickstarter, because it's been up for 2 days and they've already like tripled their goal, but if they can take that information and show that to the government can give them more money, and things like that actually help us as physicians, even because we can say, all right, well, we want to help support X, Y, or Z as far as medicine goes, and we could do something like that. We could do a Kickstarter or Indiegogo or one of those crowdfunding campaigns and make it happen. So there's some pretty cool precedent being set by that program, which is really cool.
Cool.
Crowdfunding science.
Yes, absolutely. Anything else you want to plug? Anything of your own projects or update on anything before we close it up tonight?
So, other than the fact that creating a 501c3 is way harder than I expected, and there may be some news on the Dr. Geek Dad front in the future, not really, no. I'm just still doing my thing.
Cool. So yeah, that's all we got. I mean, I've shared my thoughts on multiple platforms, podcast and blog, but I'm going to say again that I applaud Dr. Filer having the courage to go on there, and it's still early. I still think she's going to take some heat on this, but I think that the Academy, that us, the social media people, FM Revolution, have really done our part to kind of push the positives of this, it's very cool that what she did. I hope this kind of sets a precedent in a good way for her or other people in the Academy to go out there and talk in different media outlets, whether it's television or radio or on the internet, video, or all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
I'm hoping that Gerry, maybe you and I can build some talking points, and not wait for the Academy or not wait for Health is Primary to do it for us.
Well, and the thing is that we've talked about this before. That's always been our way, and it's part of the reason that we do what we do now is because we don't wait for somebody, and so sometimes we do run headlong into the walls. But part of what that does is it's kind of like this thing that we were just talking about with the crowdfunding. You're blazing new trails. You're setting out there and showing, hey, you can do this. You can put this stuff out there, and people will respond. And so I think that, to me, is the biggest kind of positive out of all of this stuff with Dr. Filer today, is that she put it out there. She did it. Instead of, trying to make it perfect, she made it good enough. And I think that's part of the problem with a lot of what we try to do. We try to tailor and wordsmith and make things exactly the way we want them to be, when most people that are going to see it, they're going to see good enough just the same as they see perfect in our eyes. And I think she did a great job of putting it out there and being present and being a good example. That's the best way to put it. So, yeah.
And of course, again, I want to thank the Academy for the opportunity to interview her. That's very cool.
That's awesome. Every time you say I want to thank the Academy, though, I feel like you're getting an award.
Exactly. I want to thank the Academy for this glass of wine.
See, I could make a great joke about I want to thank the Academy for this Diet Coke, but that would get me.
No. Show like that. I guess we're gonna have to end the show.
No, we can talk about other things for a few seconds.
No. That's a good awkward
we play
ending.
their watches again.
No, yeah, we'll just make a Coca-Cola joke. So that's about it. All hate mail goes to Gerry at gerrytolbert.com.
.net.
Or .net.
Yeah, .net.
All right. So thanks for joining us on our shenanigans here tonight. And again, thanks for Kim for calling in. And but seriously, kids, drmikesfillo.com. That gives you the blog post. That gives you the audio podcast. It gives you some video. AAFP.org. The Leader of Voices blog. That's Wanda in her own words, talking about her appearance today on the Dr. Roz Show. If you haven't checked those out, please check those out. And if you haven't already, please, watch that segment, listen to the podcast, read my blog post, read her blog post before you make your final decision. I definitely understand initial reaction. It was like, but check those out. Have an open mind, and I think you're gonna see the effectiveness of this positive thing here. So, anything else you got there, Gerry? I think we're done.
No, I think we're done. What he said.
All right, so say goodnight, Gerry.
Good night, Gerry.
So drmikesfillo.com, and follow me on Twitter, yell at me on Twitter, make fun of me on Twitter, like people like Kirk. And we'll talk to you all very soon. Good night, everybody.
My feet are the same.